She. Like, wait, the playmakers?
Let's get short. I'm going to make it one question to encapsulate both. Gerald, what the hell took you so long to honor someone that brought your franchise that you bought back to prominence? You stupid. Told you I'd keep it short. Monday Night Football, Eagles and Chiefs. Who do you have for your advantage? We'll discuss in a deuce.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. You kids on the block, New Edition,
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. No, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pistol 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Cause we take this job so serious.
The is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
That happened live, folks.
The genius that is Wise El Jefe.
And the genius that is Cole Johnson for capturing it.
Yes.
That happened live. All right. That absolutely happened live.
I remember that too.
I know you do.
Oh, I remember that.
Because your reaction was, what?
Yes.
But then you got to remember, this is Wise.
Yes.
This is Wise. He always seems to have one of those moments that just wreck us and make the show at the same time.
It encapsulates everything you're thinking at
Yes.
this point.
Yes.
Every mind that goes in your head, Wise can encapsulate in just a few words.
This is why I want Wise on 5 days a week with us.
I would love that.
That's exactly why I want you and Wise on 5 days a week with us. And if that ever happened, all I got to say is hold on to your seats.
Oh my gracious.
Hold on to if that ever happens, hold on to your seats.
I have to express it.
This will be wild because that would be wild.
Yeah. I'm not a hater of the Cowboys. I'm one of the biggest Cowboys fans.
Yes.
Okay. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also willing to like call out the nonsense.
Yes.
And I can't carry a tune, so you're not going to hear me singing about.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Bulldog Live is your home for high school sports.
It's that time again when all we want to talk about is football. High school, college, and pro football. There's one man set to bring it all to you. It's time for Just Football with Matt Emch. Matt was a first-time AP, all-offensive lineman with the Ursuline Irish and 3-time national champion with Youngstown State. And now, here's Matt.
And welcome to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emch. It's a big show tonight. First, before we start anything, we wanted to say thank you to a new simulcasted partner, 12-Ounce Sports. Quench your sports thirst with 12-Ounce Sports. Super excited to be adding my show onto another simulcasted radio station. We're live on many different ones. You can check it out on our website at westernreserveradio.com to see where we are being simulcasted. So thanks again to 12-Ounce Sports. We're really excited to be joining with you guys. We are going to, at 5 after, have only the Trumbull County Coach of the Year, Mineral Ridge High School head football coach Brian Shaner is going to be joining us like he usually does. But, you know, after the season has ended, we're going to talk to him about some things, about where the program is headed in the future. We're also going to have a few guests on. We're going to have our own Jim Craven at a quarter after. We're going to talk about the high school season, about the state championships this weekend. Unfortunately, none of our local teams will be represented. Really shocked that one of those last 3 that were all ended in the regional championships that week just didn't make it. It just wasn't in the cards this year. But I'm going to tell you what, some huge things coming up in the near future for many of our local Valley teams. Some huge players that are going to be coming up in the near future as well. It's going to be really excited. Then we're going to have at 6:30, we're going to have my old partner I used to call games with, Tim Continenza, is going to be checking in with us, and we're going to talk about what's going on in Pennsylvania and their playoffs. They're embroiled in, getting ready to find out who the best of the best is in that side of the northeast part of this country. And then we will end up at the end with my present partner, Matt Lipsack. Lipper is going to be calling in to talk with us about Mineral Ridge's season. And then, of course, we are the official radio station of the Youngstown Phantoms hockey team, the Clark Cup defending champions, who are also having a fantastic year. And we're going to be checking in with him to see how they're doing and, what's coming up and in store. It wasn't a great weekend for, a lot of us here in Ohio who are Buckeye fans. too many years in a row now. The Wolverines have put together wins this past week. I really thought that they were going to do what they did to my Irish, and a lot of people have a lot of problems and wonder why and how I could be a fan of both the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Well, I am. So deal with it, everybody. I was at that game with my wife, Stacy. It was incredible. It was also incredibly mind-numbing and mind-blowing, the last two plays of that game. At that level, to have 10 guys on the field for Notre Dame, 2 plays in a row, that's just where, they attacked them, and deservedly so. The Buckeyes won that game. It was a huge mistake on the Irish's part. That was a grade school mistake, in my opinion. I have very strong feelings about that. I'm sure a lot of Irish fans out there, like Mark Mean's wife, also is a huge Notre Dame fan, and many of you out there are. But we are going to go to the phones right now. We have Coach Brian Shaner. Congratulations, Coach. Trumbull County Coach of the Year.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And, great banquet and everything went well. And you know what a great season for our boys.
It was. We were so proud to follow the Rams this year, and we're looking forward to the next 3 years for sure to be with you guys and following the program. We see great, huge, big moves for you guys in the next few years. A lot of young players, as we talked about during games, who started for you this year. Not many programs see that many freshmen and sophomores start, but you guys had a ton of young guys getting playing time.
Yeah, we did. And, they did a great job this year. Now, it's up to them. They have to put in a great off season. And, when you play young players, sometimes they get complacent and they see their names on awards, or they see their names as guaranteed starters, and they got to buy in now, the off season, get better. And I got all the faith in the world in our guys. As coaches and players to make sure we push them. Our guys got to have the drive to do it, though. And, we do something unique in the off season with some one-on-one meetings and stuff with our guys. And we talk to them about the, off season and leadership and stuff like that. So I have all the faith in the world in our kids. They've always stepped up for us. But again, those young guys got to realize that wasn't handed to you. You were forced into the fire. Now you got to take it to the next step. And, it was really fun going to the third round of the playoffs. Hey guys, why don't you get us there again? Work out really hard all off season and let's go.
It was such an amazing experience to follow you, to be able to call games for you guys in a new era for Rams football. First time in school history for you guys to go that far, and that was just incredible. And I agree. Those young guys that were looking at these seniors that unfortunately are going to be moving on. Some of the most legendary players in history of Mineral Ridge are moving on, and hopefully the bigger and better things in their careers moving on. But, they're going to have to become the leaders themselves. And we're super excited to see what happens with them. Are you guys in weightlifting yet?
You know what? By Ohio High School, we got to take 30 days off.
Mm-hmm.
But we got guys that go up there and the weight room's open. They're hitting the ground running. Our guys are doing it on their own right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired, man. I needed a break. I did. You got to do the banquet circuit between our banquet and Trumbull County and the recruiting process. And, this is the longest I've had to do it. And, I take my hat off to these programs that have done it for, getting to the third round of the playoffs, fourth round. It's a long haul. It's a toll on the coaches as much as the players. And, I've really been doing the promoting in the college recruiting aspect right now. But, that weight room's open up there. Our boys find their way up there and they lift on their own. And you know what? They're following that new group of seniors coming in, the Brady Balestrinos, the Jacob Russells. They're making sure them guys get up there and they're hungry. And they're not going to let the town down. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, definitely. I have a nickname for Brady. I call him BB9. I think that's a great nickname for him for next year. What an incredible player he was among many. And he definitely will, I know, step up as to be one of the leaders. How is the ankle of your unfortunate junior, one of those two brothers you have that broke his ankle?
He's doing good. He had a surgery. Jordan's got a process ahead of him. And I think our key with him is to keep him positive and just do what he's supposed to do with physical therapy and understand that I think we have the best trainer with Sarah in the whole area. She's amazing. She's going to make sure he's ready to go. If he's able to come back and play any basketball, she's going to make sure he's ready. And if it's just getting ready for the off season of football, she's going to make sure he's ready. I don't know. He's a difference maker, and he was snake bitten this year, and it's a shame because he's a next level college football player, and his junior year was cut short with this injury, but he'll be back. He'll be ready to go. I can't wait to see those brothers playing our defensive ends. The more brothers are going to be unbelievable for us.
They are, and Chase was just amazing as well. One of those young guys I mentioned, a sophomore, one of the, if not the biggest kid on your team. He was just so dominating, and it's exciting that he's just a sophomore. To see him have 2 more years is going to be something else. Coach, I know, it hurts to, discuss, state championships obviously coming up this weekend, but I have to have your professional opinion. You being a head coach, what do you think about, the 2 teams, Kirtland and Versailles, who are going to be playing for that state championship in D6 this weekend?
I tell you what, they are just different kind of animals. They're different programs. They're things you look at that they do that are just different than everybody, and we're a lot closer to Kirkland, and we're able to watch them a little more, with just, when I say closer, it's because people I know that are closer to Tiger and that program. But they got a lot of guys out. You know what I mean? When you're a Division VI school and you're dressing the number of players that they got, they're doing something different. And I know they run their weight room a little bit different. The school has a full-time strength coach, and that's awesome. And you look at that and you say, man, if we did something like that, would we be different? But I don't know. They're a different beast. It's something that you chase after.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network. If you love history, head over to YouTube and check out Blogging Through History. Hosted by Mineral Ridge High School graduate Chris Mowery, Blogging Through History visits historic sites to explore not only the well-known figures and events of the past, but also compelling stories that maybe you've never heard before. Chris would also like to wish his niece Amira Emch and the Mineral Ridge Rams the best of luck for a successful 2023 season. With over 30 years of experience, Madurix Butcher Block in Mineral Ridge is a quality-driven company focused on great personal service. Our fresh meats are of the finest cut. We make a variety of burgers, sausages, and a full line of deli meats. Using our own smokehouse, we prepare different types of jerky, snack sticks, kibasi, bacon, hot dogs, and bone-in hams. When your tummy needs some relief, call 652-BEEF. That's 330-652-2333.
They can't rest on what we did before. And you know what? I have to give props to our past graduates, that Mason Miller, Tristan Valley, Nathan Rohrman, Giovanni Gilbert, Ben Call.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local
around. They have to be promoters of our program. They have to be promoters of doing things the right way and keep this thing going. Don't be stagnant. You can't be, because to be a great program, that alumni group, those guys that graduate, they got to be seen, and I'm a firm believer in that. And our sideline, when I looked at every playoff game in regular season, I saw our guys coming back just to be there for our current players. It means the world to me. And even in this off season, just the congratulations I'm getting from our past players, that means more to me than any awards or anything you can get as a coach, because you meant something to kids, and I think that's why we're in this business. We really mean a lot to our kids.
Well, Coach Shaner, thank you so much for being here. Again, congratulations for getting Trumbull County Coach of the Year. We're so excited for the following season. Have a good night.
Oh, you too. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. We'll be right back, everybody.
With over 30 years of experience, Madurix Butcher Block in Mineral Ridge is a quality-driven company focused on great personal service. Our fresh meats are of the finest cut. We make a variety of burgers, sausages, and a full line of deli meats. Using our own smokehouse, we prepare different types of jerky, snack sticks, kibasi, bacon, hot dogs, and bone-in hams. When your tummy needs some relief, call 652-BEEF. That's 330-652-2333.
Action Physical Therapy is a locally owned outpatient physical therapy company serving the Mahoning Valley for over 20 years. With 5 convenient locations in Hubbard, Cortland, Kinsman, Salem, and Mineral Ridge. Action Physical Therapy can handle all of your physical therapy needs. Action Physical Therapy will create a unique plan made specifically for you. Call us at 1-8333-BEST-PT to schedule your evaluation today. Check us out at myactionpt.com. Get back in action with Action Physical Therapy, and as always, go Rams.
If you are seeking a skilled photographer in Northeast Ohio with experience in capturing documentary-style photographs for various occasions such as family events, weddings, graduations, sporting events, and other special occasions, look no further than Colleen Moore Photography. Accessible via ColleenMoorePhotography.com, or she can be reached at 330-314-7547. Colleen sends her best wishes to the Mineral Ridge Rams for a fantastic season. Go Rams!
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
And welcome back to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emch. I hear that we had a 1 minute or so little break in our broadcast, but we're back on and we're going to go right to the lines. We have our own Jim Craven. Jim, how you doing tonight?
A little bit cold out tonight, but it's nice and warm here in Struthers, so we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. As we just had Trumbull County Coach of the Year, Brian Shaner on the line, and we talked about, the high school season and about the Rams. Why don't we talk a little bit about something that's kind of hard for all of us, especially me, with not only the Rams losing, but with my Irish shocking the state and dropping it. Let's start off with them and their loss to Chardon.
And I don't think it was a surprise. We start to get into these later rounds, and as dominant as Ursuline has been, you're going to run into teams like Chardon who are there year in and year out, and those things are going to happen. It was a well-fought game, and unfortunately, Ursuline came out on the short end of it. Let's be honest. We got really spoiled last year with 3 local teams making state championship appearances, and unfortunately, this year we are 0 for the century here. All the cupboards are bare.
Yeah, they are. It's extremely disappointing, but what we always talk about when we're calling games or on the show here. You turn the ball over in the playoffs, especially on your side of the field. You give a team a chance to put points up, just handing them a gift. It's early Christmas, and that's what they did for Chardon.
Yeah, and Ursuline was on the other end of that in the previous week when they got the interception against Canfield with just right around 2 minutes left. So the football gods are cruel mistresses. You know, one week you're on the positive end of it, and then the next week you're trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, and then we moved to another team who, not many people expected them to go as deep as they did. You're sitting in that city. The Struthers Wildcats ended the season 10-4, third round of the playoffs, losing to a great team in Canton South who, a lot of people picked to also go to state, but they ran into a buzzsaw last week against Glenville, I believe. And, Struthers had a great year, though.
Yeah, and there was a point in time in the regular season when they played South Range, and you saw the scores as we were doing our Friday night games, and you're thinking, wow, those are really close. And maybe it was at that point you started to think, this is a pretty good team. But they flew under the radar. They didn't hear a whole lot about them. They just kind of kept their nose to the ground. They kept working. They come up with that loss to Poland in week 10 in overtime, but come back and beat them the following week or 2 weeks later. So, again, they kind of flew under the radar. But from my understanding, there's going to be a lot coming back there. So Struthers may be looking at another opportunity next year with almost the same group of players.
Well, you got, John Bake is doing an incredible job. His dad, legendary Ohio high school state championship winning coach, Jeff Bake, as one of his assistants. So you have one of the greatest ever in Ohio and the country to coach high school football on your staff. So you have a situation very similar like you have at Mineral Ridge with Brian Shaner and Chet Allen, who was the head coach at Liberty, did very well there. So, yeah, I agree with you. But, man, you got Canton South who laid the wood to them. Following week, Glenville, now in the state championship, 42-21 over Canton South. So, like you had just said, football gods are very finicky. So take it for what it's worth. Moving on to South Range, South Range, a lot of people did not expect them to have as good a year as they did. Defending state champs, had an early loss, ended the season 12-2, lost to Perry 32-0. But what a great year. You talked to us about that Perry game.
Well, and I'm one of those people that didn't expect the game to go the way that did it against Perry. I thought that would be a knockdown drag out after South Range pretty much had their way with them in the previous playoffs in 2022. But Perry was outstanding, and that is a well-coached team. The execution was incredible. And having seen a game in when Perry played West Branch 2 years ago, they played that at Boardman, and I got to see Walter Moses as a freshman at quarterback, and then got to see him this year and just the evolution in the mechanics and his understanding of the offense and just the calm and coolness that he had. That was interesting to watch. I don't want to say it was fun because obviously I was hoping South Range was going to move on, but there was no shame in the loss there. I'm just surprised that it went the way that it did. But make no mistake, Dave Rock has done a fantastic job there. He has a lot to big shoes to fill there at South Range, and he's doing it. And again, they're another team that's going to have the majority of that roster back. So I think we're going to be having a conversation about South Range probably the same time next year.
I agree. Same thing with Ursuline and Mineral Ridge. You're going to be seeing them in the playoffs. I was shocked as well that Perry did that. Perry is somebody that this area knows very well. Girard had a good rivalry going with them for a while. I think they lost to them 2 years in a row deep in the playoffs, and they finally beat them, went to the state championship that 1 year. Last year, South Range beating Perry, going and winning a state championship. Perry, of course, they had that target on there, and South Range had a young team, so they went darn deep. But Perry 15-0, playing in the state championship against Liberty Center 15-0. I'm going to give the edge to Perry, but, going to be a good game. Definitely one of those programs you hear about all the time. And then you think about Perry and Kirtland, CVC, two teams in the state championship for that conference. They have one of the best conferences in the state.
Yeah, and if you win that conference, there's something to be said for that. I mean, that's something to hang your laurels on there. But they have the potential for 2 state champions to come out of one league. That just tells you about the caliber of it. And these are 2 teams we see in and year out. And I highly recommend, if you ever have a chance, do a game from Perry. What a beautiful stadium they have up there near the Perry Nuclear Power Plant. And for the listeners, Press Box has got a bathroom and a refrigerator. You can't ask for much more than that.
I've been there, and it is a little disturbing seeing that nuclear power plant in the distance, but it is incredible. So I agree with you.
You kind of worry about the 400-pound pumpkins that I see coming in too. So.
Is it having an effect on that? Exactly. Let's talk about these state championships coming up. Division I, you got somebody who's in it all the time. You got Lakewood St. Ed's against another familiar, Springfield.
Yeah, and that would be the Springfield, not from Mahoney County.
Right.
But St. Ed's is just a Division I powerhouse. I mean, they don't think about how far they're going to go in the playoffs. It's we're going to be there, and let's just plan for it. And that's been the standard for them. And unfortunately, in our area, we don't have any Division I teams anymore where we see a Harding or an Austin Sound Fitch maybe go toe-to-toe with them. But I'm certainly thinking that they're going to be the favorite now.
Moving on to Division II, a good friend of mine, a local boy, Ursuline grad, and also one of my ex-teammates at Youngstown State, Tim Tyrrell, head coach of Akron Archbishop Hoban, 129-21 record in his 11th year at Hoban. He's 194-72 combined with 11 seasons. He's coached at St. Thomas Aquinas and Chaminade Madonna College Prep out of Hollywood, Florida. This will be the 3rd OHSAA state finalist Hoban has played this season. They beat Cleveland Glenville 28-16 on October 4th, but lost to Lakewood St. Ed's. We just talked about them, D1 representative, 14-7. They're playing somebody who my uncle, John Caparanis, God rest his soul, despised, being a Warren Harding graduate. Always, every time, if not 1,000, he would have told me one more time. Massillon, Washington, the Tigers, the only state championship team that has been crowned by the press, has never won it, playing for it themselves. This is another time they're playing Hoban for it. Maybe this year they're nationally ranked. Maybe they get it this year.
Yeah, and Hoban has played a schedule to where they've really been pushed. They know what they need to do. And for Massillon, part of me wants to see that win just to break that curse and see them actually get that state championship.
Yeah, me too.
But it's hard to say. How does this play mentally with the team then when everybody keeps saying, you've never done it, you've never done it? You can either say, hey, look, I'm going to do it, or, oh, no, here we go again. And I hope it's not the latter of the two.
Yeah, I agree. I actually, even though my uncle would be frowning, I'm sure he's frowning at me from up above, I do kind of want to see them get it too. They've been really close. Hoban is no joke. They've been there many times. Moving to D3, top ranked Fighting Irish, 15-0, but not the Youngstown Ursuline Fighting Irish. A lot of people thought it was going to be an all Fighting Irish state championship, but Toledo Central Catholic, the one that they all thought was going to be playing Ursuline, will be represented in Division III playing Columbus Bishop Watterson.
Yeah, and Toledo Catholic, they've become an outstanding program. I'm going to be honest, didn't really follow them a lot prior to them really kind of developing into a tough program. They're going to be taking on Bishop Watterson, and I believe their last appearance was coming in Bishop Watterson. Excuse me. I think they were in 2010. It was their last appearance, and they won their second title there. So. Again, 2 teams that have been there. This is going to come down to coaching. Let's find out. It's going to become a chess match, and I think it's going to be one of the closer, more entertaining games that you're going to see this weekend.
I agree, and we're going to move on to Cleveland Glenville. They are going to be playing Kettering Archbishop Alter in the Division 4.
Yeah, and Archbishop, they're another team that they're looking for their third state title. So, but they was it last week? I think they shut out Cincinnati, Wyoming, and I believe that's a team you had seen. You and Tim Continenza against Girard there, and they got the 17-0 win. Not only to get the win, they get the shutout. So that tells you a lot about that defense. And the question is, can you get through that defense? What are you going to dial up to kind of get to buy yourself some time, use some misdirection, whatever you're going to need to do. So, again, another outstanding matchup there, and two teams that very well deserve to be where they are.
And we just talked about Perry and Liberty Center. We'll move on. Next one. We also had mentioned Kirtland. You know, they're going to be playing Versailles. That's going to be a huge game.
Yeah, you talk about Coach Laverty up there, 228-20 record. I mean, you're winning nearly 92% of your games there. So that is the standard set for them. And that's, you know, to deviate a little bit. That's what I started thinking about Brian Shaner. You know, being awarded Coach of the Year, and now Mineral Ridge becoming good. You become not the hunter. Now you become the prey a little bit. And these teams, Kirtland, who have been consistently good, and you know, you play them one week and you get to that game and you think, okay, we're moving on. And that's the good news. The bad news is we're taking on the Kirtland Hornets, and that's never an easy task. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. And, you know, they got beat last year by the I believe Dalton, who is going to be playing for the Division 7 state championship. You know them very well. They're going to be playing against Maria Stein Local.
Yeah, we got to see Maria Stein Local last year too, as well. These are teams that are consistently in there. Their names are always coming up into the playoffs. And
in fact, Maria Stein, sorry, Jim, they beat Kirtland last year in Division 6.
Yes, and they've bumped down now, I believe, coming up this year. But that tells you even how competitive Division 7 is now.
Yeah.
Where Division 7 was the small schools, and now. So, you know, you may not have as many boys, but they seem to maintain that quality, even though they don't have the quantity of boys in that school. And that makes them even more dangerous in Division 7 than they did in 6. So good luck to whoever, you know, plays them.
I agree. And exciting. We have 12-ounce sports, our new simulcaster as well. Jim, Thank you very much for being here, brother. Just wanted to mention that. As always, it's been fun. We'll be right back, everybody.
Experience nature's bounty with Creations Backyard. Elevate your health with the most nutrient-dense foods on earth. From farm to table, sustainably cultivated with care. Grown locally in Niles, Ohio with no chemicals or synthetics ever. Unlock your culinary creativity with Creation Backyard Microgreens. Convenient local delivery and pickup options available. Order now at creationsbackyard.com or call 330-282-7208.
Jesse's Dairy Cove is a hometown favorite, located at 3743 State Route 46, across from the gazebo in Mineral Ridge. Enjoy all of your favorite ice cream. We have over 32 hard scoop and over 40 soft serve favorites. We also have a large food menu, including homemade chili sauce, sloppy joes, pulled pork, fresh cut French fries, and mac and cheese. This fall, we'll start our homemade cookie and party trays. Visit our website at justicedairycove.com to see our menu. At Justice Dairy Cove, we appreciate your business and wish good luck to the Rams.
If you love history, head over to YouTube and check out Blogging Through History. Hosted by Mineral Ridge High School graduate Chris Mowery, Blogging Through History visits historic sites to explore not only the well-known figures and events of the past, but also compelling stories that maybe you've never heard before. Chris would also like to wish his niece Amira Emch and the Mineral Ridge Rams the best of luck for a successful 2023 season. From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
And welcome to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emch. We're back from break, and we're going to go live to the lines. We have my old partner, Tim Continenza. Tim, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, Matt.
Good to hear from you again.
Good to hear from you. Obviously, an exciting and disappointing OHSAA playoff season for local teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be years where you just don't advance past, the rounds. I mean, with the extra round now, 6 weeks of playoffs is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily an excuse. It's just a reality. And I thought we had good representation, but I don't know if we had the best football that we've seen in the past, this past year. I thought we had pretty good football and good teams, but nobody that stood out as a great team.
Yeah, well, obviously, because, the ones who didn't move past the regionals, it just wasn't in the cards this year. Other teams, you have to play your best football week in and week out, not give turnovers. As well as anyone else, Tim, you turn the ball over even one time in the playoffs, it's multiplied by 10, and that could be your loss, even a missed extra point. Let's switch over, though, to your neck of the woods this year, the PA playoffs. What's going on about the season that you followed this year?
Well, we had kind of a similar season as what you guys had over here in Ohio. All our teams were eliminated about 2 weeks ago. But there were a lot of good players that we've seen there, Matt. I'll tell you what, Union is a small school. It's the smallest school that you're going to find in Pennsylvania on our Class A. They go kind of reverse. In Ohio, Division I is your big schools, and Division 7 is your small schools. Just the opposite in Pennsylvania. Your single A is your small schools, and your 6As are your big schools. So, but we've seen some really talented people come our way, and it was a fun year. There was a quarterback over at Mohawk, and Jay Rona. I think I mentioned him before. What a fun, intelligent young man as a quarterback. Unfortunately, his playing days are done. He's going to go play baseball for Youngstown State.
Nice.
As a pitcher and an outfielder. So it will be interesting to see him develop there. And he just signed with the baseball team about earlier this month. So it should be interesting to see him go. And then there's a quarterback over at Union who just is a great athlete who's starting to get looks at all levels, and it'll be interesting to see where he'll end up too. I'm kind of curious to see what he did. He led his team as a junior to the state finals, and they fell up short in the final. And this year they got to the semifinals in the WPAL before they fell short. So that's basically what's happened this year. We had some really fun, good quality teams, but when it came to playoff times, as you mentioned, it doesn't take a lot to put yourself in the wrong ledger. Just a bad snap or just a short field sometimes can change a ball game.
I agree. And, you just got to play well. I don't know, always how to explain how the PA playoffs in detailed ways. Can you please remind our Ohio listeners the difference between PA and Ohio and the way they do their plays?
The easiest way to really define it, Matt, is in Ohio, once you play the regular season, you go into the state playoffs. All right. Those who qualify for the state playoffs play in their regions and play, to their size of their school in the playoffs. In Pennsylvania, they have regional playoffs first. And those regional playoffs are like the WPIAL, District 10, District 8. You'll hear all these different names. And those are separate tournaments run by those regions. And those regional champions then move on to the state tournament that follows after the regional tournament. And so you basically have two tournaments. You have a regional tournament where you can become a champion at the regional level, which is very prestigious and for the schools. and it's a big banner type day that you would put up, and then you have the state playoffs that would follow, and that is where they're at right now because all the regions are done, and now they're into the semifinals this coming weekend of the Pennsylvania playoffs.
Yeah, I'm actually looking on Max Preps right now at the playoffs, and I'm looking at the semifinals for now. A1A, that is that it's different than. How does the size go with PA again?
Yeah, that's the smallest schools in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so
Single A is the smallest, 6A is the largest.
So we have South Williamsport versus Steelton High Spire and Fort Cherry versus Red Bank Valley. That is one of the semifinals being played on December 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, the Red Bank Valley Fort Cherry game is regional, Matt. If anybody listening wants to see high school football this weekend, it's over at Farrell.
Oh, nice.
So it's Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff. I believe you can buy all your tickets online. So you can just buy it online and just bring your ticket on your phone. I believe that's the way it can be done, or you might be able to even purchase the day of the game. I would suggest call Farrell to find out if that's available or not. I do not know top of my head because every week, every different venue is a little different. You know how that works.
Yeah, right. And, speaking of Farrell, what a great program and what great players. I've seen a lot of things in the paper. Obviously, they're one of the local PA teams we focus on other than Sharon. And you've been noticing a lot of stuff in the paper about Farrell players getting a lot of after the season, honors.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Farrell going forward as a school, meaning they want to get back into the WPIL for regional play. They're currently in District 10. And long story short, back about 20 years ago, they were in the WPIL, and they moved to District 10. They would like to move back to the WPIL and play in that region now again. So we'll see if that transpires. There's a lot of hoops you got to jump through to get that done. And one of the major hoops is that you have to have your current region let you go. And they tried about 5-7 years ago to do this, and District 10 was not unwilling to let Farrell make that move. And I think the reason why is if Farrell makes that move, Sharon will want to make that move.
Yeah.
And it could be, and that just hurts the District 10 and their ability to have certain schools and tournaments and competition. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there on that level. But there's a lot of momentum, my understanding, is to try to get Farrell back into the to the Whipples. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but there seems to be momentum in that direction, at least from the school and from the WPIL officials. So we'll wait and see how that all runs out. But yeah, they had a phenomenal season, and they have a class program, and they've been doing what they do, playing Steelers football for a long time. And it would be interesting to see them back in the Whipple and competing for a WPIL championship again. And it would definitely change some of the power structure in WPIL.
I agree. Real quick, I'm just going to mention, I remember that Ursuline Farrell game last year, how incredible that was. Went down to the wire. Jim Craven actually called that game, said it was one of the best games he's seen in a long time. So I'm going to mention real quick, since before we go to break, Tim, 2A, you have Dunmore in Southern Columbia area. And then the other game is Westinghouse and Beaver Falls. And then we're going to move to 3A here. Give me 1 second. And of course, as Max Preps takes a little while, we'll jump back in here. The semifinal for that will be Wyoming and Northern Lehigh, and then Bell Vernon and Hickory, a team that everyone from this area knows well. They have a very excellent winning program.
They do. And Hickory is a team you always got to pay attention to. I have a friend of mine who played on the very first state championship for Hickory many years ago, back, I believe, in 1989, when they won the very first PIAA championship that was out about for a state title. That's how important the regional titles were. They didn't even have state titles back until then. And yeah, Hickory Hornets are always a program to pay attention to. And they got their hands full this weekend, but that's, everyone does. And it should be a lot of fun and to see how that all unwinds here, Matt, and see what teams can advance to the championship round.
I agree. Going to the next division, Dallas and Bishop McDevitt and Selinsgrove and Aliquippa. And then we're going to jump up next to 5A. Real quick, get these last ones mentioned here for everybody. Imhotep Charter, Strathaven, and then Peters Township and Cocalico. And then finally, for the last one here, 6A, let's get this here. 1 second, everybody. Semifinals, Central Bucks South, St. Joseph Prep, and Harrisburg and North Allegheny. Those are all your semifinals in PA. Tim, thank you so much for being here, brother. We'll love to have you back again.
All right, look forward to it, Matt. Thanks again.
All right, absolutely. That was Tim Continenza, my old partner in calling high school football. We'll be back with my buddy, my partner, Lipper, right when we get back. Thanks, everybody.
W&M Quality Roofing, LLC is an insured and bonded Mahoning Valley family-owned roofing business. At W&M, we treat your roof and home as if it's our very own. Give us a call at 330-647-0610 for a free estimate. Did you get damage from the latest storm? We also offer financing and specialists for insurance claims. For professional and efficient service, call W&M Quality Roofing at 330-647-0610.
SNK, painting your house today. SNK, painting your house
SNK Painting provides exceptional painting and refinishing services to the Mahoning Valley and surrounding communities by being an industry leader in our field, focusing on customer service and delivering extraordinary results. We offer interior and exterior painting, and we specialize in cabinet refinishing with affordable cabinet solution. Call SNK Painting for your free estimate at 330-505-1910.
SNK, painting your house today.
With over 30 years of experience, Madurix Butcher Block in Mineral Ridge is a quality-driven company focused on great personal service. Our fresh meats are of the finest cut. We make a variety of burgers, sausages, and a full line of deli meats. Using our own smokehouse, we prepare different types of jerky, snack sticks, kibasi, bacon, hot dogs, and bone-in hams. When your tummy needs some relief, call 652-BEEF. That's 330-652-2333. From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
And welcome back to Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emch. We are again going to go to the live lines. My partner for high school football and my brother, Matt Lipsack, or as we call him, Lipper, on the phone. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. You know what I love? So obviously I have for calls, I have my phone hooked up to the board for the station. And when your picture comes up, it is you holding the Clark Cup trophy over your head for the Phantoms winning last year. That is phenomenal. You got to get that picture online. It's awesome.
Oh, it's online. It's there. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And again, the Youngstown Phantoms, the #1 championship, winning the Clark Cup championship last year, having a great year this year. Matt, what's their record right now?
Right now, the Phantoms are 13 4-2. They're 28 points put them in second place in the USHL's Eastern Conference.
And who do we have this week for the Phantoms?
The Phantoms have actually traveled to Rochester, New York for a pair of games against the Muskegon Lumberjacks as part of the USHL American Cup, which is sponsored by Wegmans. The third year of the American Cup, third year that the Phantoms have been part of the event up there in Rochester. Huge youth tournament going on up there around the event, and then the Phantoms pair of games against Muskegon are the centerpiece of the event. Both of these games count in the regular season standings. Each team will spend one game as the home team, and this will be the first time the Phantoms face Muskegon this year. One of the more heated rivalries in the USHL is Youngstown and Muskegon, and the Phantoms, being from Ohio, they beat already one opponent from Michigan this week. Hopefully, they'll be able to beat another.
Yeah, and obviously a sore spot with the state of Ohio. At least one of our Ohio teams took care of a Michigan team. We won't really get into that. Do you guys like the NHL ever have any outdoor game matches at games?
So the NHL has already had one outdoor game this year, the Heritage Classic, which takes place every year. I think around Canadian Thanksgiving. I believe this year it was the Oilers and the Flames taking part in the Heritage Classic. Then, of course, every year there's the Winter Classic, which is played either New Year's Day or January the 2nd, just kind of all depending what else is going on. I think it's in Raleigh this year. Might be the Capitals and the Hurricanes. I'd have to double check into that. And then sometimes this isn't an every year thing, but they'll do a Stadium Series game. A couple of years ago was played at the Air Force Academy. The Colorado Avalanche and the LA Kings, I think, were part of that. They will put on, usually at least one or two outdoor games a year.
And as always, I get to hear the beautiful cooing and noises of your children in the background. Who is that I'm hearing?
That is Alexis. We are watching Cocomelon, and we are eating mac and cheese and chicken.
Oh, awesome. Well, Matt has beautiful children, a boy and a girl, and they are phenomenal. So I always get a kick out of hearing them in the background. Matt, could you explain for our listeners a little bit about the obvious difference between the NHL and the league that the Phantoms play in?
So the Phantoms play in the United States Hockey League, which is a Tier 1 junior league, the only Tier 1 junior league certified by USA Hockey here in North America. The point of the league is that the 16 to 20-year-olds that are playing in this league get heavily scouted by both college and pro scouts. You can be drafted out of the USHL. You can get a college scholarship out of the USHL. Out of the 23 players on the Phantoms active roster, I think 20 of them already have college scholarships for next year, and two of the three that don't are only 16 years old. So wouldn't expect them to have a college commitment just yet. But so really the USHL is one of the top producers of junior talent in the world, and its goal is to feed the NCAA hockey players, feed the NHL hockey players.
Awesome. And I'm sure that, the Phantoms have we sent anybody up to the big times from the Phantoms?
So I think right now there's 5, maybe 6 active players in the NHL who once upon a time were Youngstown Phantoms, at least for the majority of their junior hockey career. The first among them would be Kyle Connor, who was drafted, I think, around 19th, maybe 18th overall by the Winnipeg Jets back in 2015. And Kyle has spent his entire professional career with the Winnipeg Jets after playing for the University of Michigan for 1 year. Scott Mayfield is a defenseman for the New York Islanders, played 2 years in Youngstown, 4 years at the University of Denver. before moving on to professional hockey. You've got Ryan Lomberg, who skates with the Florida Panthers. He went to the Stanley Cup final last year.
Awesome.
Kiefer Sherwood plays for the Nashville Predators. He faced off against the Penguins last night. Ivan Prosvetov is the backup goalie for the Colorado Avalanche. Actually got to see him play in Pittsburgh back at the end of October when the Avalanche were in town. Pens were blowing them out, and the Avalanche put Ivan in to play the last 8 minutes of the game, which was a really, really cool thing to see.
Who on this team this year do you think could be somebody that would be represented from the Phantoms in the NHL?
Well, the Phantoms already have three players on this team who have already been drafted. Brandon Swoboda and Andrew Strathman were both drafted in last year's draft. Swoboda was picked by the San Jose Sharks. Strathman was picked by the Columbus Blue Jackets. A couple of years ago, Tomas Machu was selected by the New York Islanders. So all three of them have already been drafted. As far as players who haven't been drafted, you're looking at Charlie Serrato. You're looking at Mikey Burchell, very young Sasha Vamidian, also very young Zach Marin, probably just, up near the top of the list. Torrey Pittner has a very promising hockey career ahead of him as well. I believe this is his first draft year upcoming as well.
That is so exciting. And, we also, obviously want to see as many players get there as possible. When is the next time the Phantoms will be at the Cavelli Center?
The Phantoms have one game left at the Cavelli Center in the 2023 calendar year. It is December the 15th against Team USA. You have seen the U17 version. This will be the U18 version. So a much stiffer competition, as obviously these kids are playing for Team USA for a reason. They are the best U18 American-born hockey players in the country. So, like I said, very stiff competition. I think the U18s are something like 5-2 in the USHL schedule that they've played so far. The USHL splits the schedule of the 62 games between the U17s and the U18s. Usually you'll see like a 60-40 split, with the 17s playing a little bit more just to try to help them develop.
Well, I got to see, as you just mentioned, that matchup with the younger team, 12-0. It was the first hockey game I've ever seen in my life. So obviously first Phantoms, first time ever to Cavelli Center. Jim Craven brought me through the back, and I got to see the players doing their pregame fire up circle that they do, which is awesome. And I had a great time. I also went to another one with my family, and we left early to go to the Ave to get some pizza. They were losing, but I missed a overtime win. What game was that again?
I'm not going to let you forget it either.
No, don't.
I believe it was against the Dubuque Fighting Saints, or was it the Madison Capitals? It was one of the two.
Yeah, I think it was the Capitals, and I was so disappointed. I got the message, you shouldn't have left, Matt. I think it was Jim or maybe you. I forget which one of you did it. And I was like, but I'm going to come to that one on the 15th, so I get to see that last one. It's been such a blast. Anybody that, isn't doing anything, it's the last one at the Cavelli Center regular season. Man, get your butts there. Get them in the seats. I promise you, seeing it, even if you're not a hockey fan, seeing it live, being a football fan, it is awesome, and they've done a great job. Last thing I want to mention to you, Matt, you know about it. Here at Western Reserve Radio, we have some exciting news. We're going to be partnered with a new semi-pro football team called the Mahoning Valley Federals, who everybody is going to find out about. We're going to be calling games for them. John Galbraith and Mike Benner are running that team, and they're in charge of everything. You can go on Facebook and put Mahoning Valley Federals in and check them out. They're having players go in and trying out. So if you are an ex-player from high school or college, you want to get in there and try out and play some more football, that's going to be exciting, Matt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always great to, build the brand here at Western Reserve Radio, and bring another team into the fold.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So in the spring, before the regular fall season, everybody, myself and hopefully Matt, you will be able to call a number of them, and whoever, if you can't be there, whoever else, maybe Mark Means or someone else will be calling play-by-play. It'll be a blast. So we look forward to it. And again, while you're on the phone, we have another another station simulcasting us. Quench your sports thirst with 12-ounce sports. They're our new partner running my show. Super exciting. I'm pumped about that. So welcome to them. Matt, thank you so much for being here, brother. It's always a pleasure. I miss, calling those Ridge games. They had a great season, but, it wasn't in the cards. But, love you, man. And thanks for being here.
Love you too, brother. Ian Irv got robbed.
I agree. He should have split it with the gentleman from Niles, but it's okay. Thank you for being here again, Matt. Matt Lipsack, my partner, voice of the Youngstown Phantoms. We'll see you next time, buddy.
We'll catch you later, buddy.
Everybody, thank you for being here tonight. It was a blast. We will see you next week. This is Just Football. I'm your host, Matt Emch, checking out. Have a good night, sports fans.
From high school to the pros and everything in between.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
From high school to the pros and everything in between, you're listening to City View Sportscast, part of the iMedia One network.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Miss an episode of By All Means, and you could miss a lot.
That's where it all begins, with the rich sports history that we have in the Valley. We're going to talk national, we're going to talk regional, but it all begins here at home. So that is where a lot of those topics and conversations that we have with you every Tuesday are going to come from.
By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio and streaming live on westernreserveradio.com.
And opinions of Sports Radio America, its principal, or affiliates.
Welcome back to the Uncommon Radio Special featuring Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy, author of the new book titled Uncommon, Finding Your Path to Significance. If you'd like more information on Tony Dungy and his new book Uncommon, visit daretobeuncommon.org. There you can watch Tony's new video interview, Dare to Be Uncommon. Read what people are saying about Tony and his strong faith in God. Sign up for Tony's podcast and read Coach Dungy's blog. It's all at daretobeuncommon.org. In just a few minutes, we'll hear a powerful speech by Tony given at an Athletes in Action event the morning before Super Bowl 40. That's coming up. Uncommon reveals lessons on achieving significance that Tony learned from his parents, his athletic and coaching careers, his mentors, and his journey with God. The book particularly focuses on what it means to be a man of significance in a culture that is offering young men few positive role models. Our young men today are falling into a trap, says Tony Dungy. Society is telling them material success is what's important. But if we buy into that idea, we can spend a lifetime chasing that success and never really having the positive impact on people that would make our lives truly significant. Many of you have read Tony Dungy's memoir, Quiet Strength, which was released in 2007. It held the top spot on the New York Times bestsellers list and impacted countless lives. Quiet Strength is one of the best-selling sports-related titles in history. Well, we sat down with Tony Dungy and asked him about his latest book, Uncommon, and what the title refers to.
It actually came from a saying that my college coach used to say, and he said, success is uncommon, therefore not to be enjoyed by the common man. And he always used to tell us, I'm looking for uncommon people. And that's where we thought about it. And it just seems like in this day and age, we have so many people that are just going down the path that everyone else is going down, doing the things everyone else is doing. And I don't know that's what we're called to do. So that would be my message in the book to people, that we don't have to do the ordinary. We can step out of that comfort zone. There's a great line in the Bible. Christ says, enter through the narrow gate, because wide is the gate and broad is the highway that leads to destruction. And many people find it. But narrow is the gate, small is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. So that was kind of the theme of this, that don't do what everyone else is doing necessarily. Investigate and do it in a little different way, a little uncommon way.
Uncommon is truly a message from Tony Dungy's heart, one that speaks to a man's deepest longing, a desire for significance. It's a book that's very different from his last book, Quiet Strength.
My heart, since writing Quiet Strength, has really been focused on young men. I got so many calls and cards and letters from 18, 19, 20-year-old boys who said, boy, I really got a lot from your story, and I'm dealing with this issue or that issue. And I thought it would be nice to write something directly to those questions and talk to young people about what it really means to set your life in a certain direction and having goals and what you want to do in life. And it's just something, as we see more and more statistics about our country and where we're going in terms of education, where we're going in terms of crime, that I think we need a different direction, especially for our young men.
At the end of the day, Tony is sure of one thing: the lessons that the world offers, such as accumulating titles, money, and stuff, these are wrong values to pursue. Fitting in with the crowd and being common isn't what God intended for you. There's more in store for your life. The key is living an uncommon life, as one man experienced for himself.
It was a cold Buffalo morning, January 3rd, 1993. On this particular day, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, Frank Reich, had readied himself for a drive to Rich Stadium, where he was to start his first NFL playoff game. The Bills would play against the Houston Oilers in an AFC wildcard game. As the windows of his car were defrosting, he listened to a song he had heard perhaps 100 times that week. The song was In Christ Alone.
In Christ alone, I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone.
As Frank Reich sat and listened, instead of heading for the game, he stopped and listened to the song again, and then again. Finally, he pulled a tablet from his playbook and wrote down the words. He would later say that he sensed God telling him that somehow he would share that song with someone on this momentous day. Midway through the third quarter, Frank Reich and his Buffalo Bills were losing badly, 35-3. Down 5 touchdowns with less than 20 minutes to play, this game was essentially over. But Frank Reich remembered the words to the song he had burned into his heart and soul just hours earlier. Then would come the first touchdown for the Bills, then another and another. In what many analysts and reporters would later say was the greatest comeback in NFL history, Frank Reich led his Buffalo Bills to a 41-38 overtime win against an insurmountable Houston Oilers lead. Following the game, as he stood behind the podium before a mass of media, reporters, and newspapers at the post-game press conference, he was asked how he was able to accomplish such a comeback. Before he would answer any reporter's questions, Frank Reich reached down for his playbook and opened it to the page where he wrote down the lyrics of the song In Christ Alone. There, before millions of fans on television and radio, standing in front of a sea of reporters, Frank Reich read the words of the song that spoke to his heart so powerfully.
In Christ alone, I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone. I place my trust and find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me, my source of strength, my source of hope is Christ alone.
Frank says, I think of how the song inspired me today. I get even more excited about how it can encourage and inspire others whose trials are much more difficult than those I face on a football field. My hope and prayer is that people everywhere will find Jesus as their source of strength and their source of hope. A month later, Frank Reich and the Buffalo Bills would reach the Super Bowl. This story of faith and devotion will be forever remembered as a story of uncommon victory for an uncommon man.
You're listening to the Uncommon Radio Special featuring Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy, author of the new book titled Uncommon, Finding Your Path to Significance. And we'll be right back with more in a few moments.
Keeping your pet happy and healthy. That's what Chewy is all about, which is why we offer veterinary diets, prescriptions, even compounded medications customized for your pet, so you can get what they need to feel good. Save on pet prescriptions and more. Visit chewy.com today.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code PHIL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PHIL.
Hey everyone, it's Queen Brigée. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, joyous winter solstice. Whatever you celebrate, have a happy one.
In the following broadcast do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Sports Radio America, its principal, or affiliates.
Welcome back to the Uncommon Radio Special featuring